People would come from all over down to the Bowery to see things they've never seen before.
The anti-art of art that was going on was a kind of marvelous chaos that is sheer creativity, and it really was a culture.
So we got the blue light up there, the red light over there, spotlight over there, the chandelier dims down.
I would do anything to time travel and go back to when this was the premier entertainment district in America.
The Bowery's all about movement. It's always changing. The Bowery's everything. You don't have to go anywhere.
The only way off the stage is on the other side of your performance.
Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem.
The Bowery.
They say strange things and they do strange
things on the Bowery, the Bowery. I'll never go there anymore.
First off, it's not Bowery Street or Bowery Avenue. It's the Bowery. It's a mile-long stretch through Lower Manhattan, the original destination for the city's performing arts scene. What played on the Bowery was eclectic. It was for the masses. It was racist. And in every generation came a new sound, whether by language or style. That begs the question, with all that's changed, has the Bowery lost its artistic soul?
Good to see you, Daddy-O. More poetry.
Who's that?
He's just a hack poet.
You know, you had the great white lights uptown always. You always had your Broadway. But the place where the people came, all the different cultures mixed, where burlesque was born, where vaudeville was born, where the Yiddish theater was born, where tap dancing started, where P.T. Barnum had his dime museums and freak shows, that was the Bowery.
This is the first theater district in America dating back to the late 1700s. It was first originally a very upscale theater district. We had people like George Washington living in the neighborhood and very upscale right after the Revolutionary War.
American popular culture and theater started here, and it was started by immigrants. They basically just invented their own culture. You know, they said, the hell with this high culture, it doesn't speak to me, I can't relate to this. I'm going to create my own theater, and they did.
Before we talk about immigrants, you should know that the Bowery was an old Native American trail. The Dutch renamed it Bowery for farm after Dutch settlers arrived. As time passed, it housed generations of immigrant groups. Each new group's arrival often created tension, pitting those who were born here against those born somewhere else. It even ignited a riot at the Astor Place Theater in 1849.
And the riot was over a British actor who was playing Macbeth.
Because people riot about Shakespeare a lot.
Yeah, they riot about Shakespeare. Yes, it was the Shakespeare riots. And at the core, it was about nativism. You know, this was a time when people were very anti-foreigner, and the idea that Brits were coming and acting on the Bowery stage was very annoying to the local population.
And what ended up happening after the wealthier people moved out and the immigrants moved in, it became a little bit more bawdy. So then you have the birthplace of burlesque in America here on the Bowery, blackface minstrelsy, things like that, and very rowdy vaudeville, and that kind of, the whole concept sort of changed.
Some of that change would certainly be considered offensive by today's standards.
The term Jim Crow actually originated here on the Bowery.
Jim Crow was a song and dance that was invented by an entertainer named Daddy Rice. And he was white, and he didn't invent blackface. I want to say he branded it. He based this act that he took to the stage on the singing and dancing of an old slave he observed, and turned it into this stock character, which today we find extremely offensive.
No place or person, to bring it down to the individual level, no place or person or time period is unchangeable, all right? And so, like, even that place, the place that birthed minstrel shows, now, okay, time has passed and enough people have come here and lent their energy to this place towards like a specific type of expression. And now we find ourselves here, the opposite of that is happening.
Today, Arts on the Bowery aims to include, especially when the mic is open at the Bowery Poetry Club. But future performance art is endangered by something new on a street long synonymous with poverty or at least cheap rent.
First of all, there were all these different kinds of people lived side by side on the Bowery. There were the artists, you know, there were the working class people with their little businesses, but what they had in common is that they didn't have much materially, but they had the Bowery. That world has been destroyed by gentrification.
They said that the Bowery would never flip. That's what the real estate folks told me when I said I wanted to open a poetry club.
The gentrification of this whole area, which kind of just mimics the grand blandification of everywhere.
Sure.
Because when you look at like, okay, what the Bowery looks like gentrified from what it was, it looks the same if you go to any major city that is gentrified. They started out looking very uniquely different, having very different, unique personalities to them, and now it's just all the samening. All right, and so just the grand samening is happening.
Every corner, another bank.
The store sells boots that cost nearly $1,000. It's the old CBGB's, an iconic performance space since the 1970s. It's known for launching the punk rock and new wave scene with bands like Blondie and Bad Brains, Talking Heads, and the Ramones all took over the stage. It closed its doors in 2006 after rent prices soared.
Saturday night, let's say 77, what would this been like?
Well, you know, you'd be crowded out the door. First of all, you'd hear it. You know, you'd hear it before you'd see it because the noise was just deafening once you got inside. The music would be out of control, and the Bad Brains would be playing, or the Richard Hell and the Voidoids would be playing. It's the place where the music meets the street, just like we are here, you know. And when you came outside, the whole Bowery opened up to you.
Let's go!
But prices close off the Bowery for many more artists. Where they can, a new generation aims to continue the legacy. They hope this inspired setting remains.
Up here now, 2nd Street is called Joey Ramone Place. That's because the Ramones started there at CBGB's. I don't know, if you look a little bit below the surface, Josh, I think you can still feel the pulse. Maybe you can't see it, but you can feel the pulse.
Your beauty, art, mystery, a secret waiting to be revealed. I want to swim in your flood. I want to know. All you have to teach me.
You still love it here?
I do love it here. You know, I've seen it go through its changes, Josh, and it's going to keep changing. That's what hope is.
I want you to precisely take me through all of the pages in your book.
We all know what's important, and what's important are the songs that we sing to each other and the stories that we tell to each other.
You're a story waiting to be told, and I want to embody your words until I get old.
And the art that somebody painted that's up over the wall, that's your family, you know, that defines you. It's our identities. How we just say who we are comes from what we create.
Go ahead. Tell me your story. Thank you.